officially 6:58, 1 year later.
So today, you get a somber Tara. It is week 5, day 1 of the Dopey Challenge training program. It's been officially 1 year, like 6:58 this morning. It's been an official 1 year since I lost my dad. I just want to read something that I found on Pinterest that just so eloquently says what's in my head. It just says grief. I had my own notions of grief. I thought it was a sad time that followed the death of someone you love, and you had to push through it to get to the other side. But I'm learning there is no other side. But rather, there's absorption and acceptance. Grief is not something you complete, but rather you endure. Grief is not a task to finish and move on, but an element of yourself, an alteration of your being, a new way of seeing, a new definition of self. If that ain't the truth, because I'm not who I used to be. Gosh, I want to get back to that girl so bad. I want to get back to that girl who doesn't feel broken on the inside. I want to get back to that girl who is real and doesn't feel like I have to fake being okay. Because there's so many days that I don't feel okay and I just fake it so bad. And there's days where I do feel okay. This is part of it. This is part of it. I want to be that happy, bubbly person that can pour into people again. And I feel like when my cup gets a little bit full, that something happens and it cracks and all the water runs out. I don't know, but since this blog is my journal, maybe you could help me figure it out. Or maybe we can find some super glue and glue up my little crack. And maybe I'm like Chip from Beauty and the Beast. Maybe the chip is just who I am now. Or the crack is just who I am now. You can call me Crack. No, don't call me Crack. I didn't sleep very well last night. I'm running out of time to go run right now. I don't really have a plan other than I might just start out with intervals instead of running a mile, warm up, and then doing intervals. But I know we gotta get to it because the kids will be up in no time and then my day will just not work out. So let me read you something else that I found. It would be just an amazing segue to... Being negative only makes a difficult journey more difficult. You may be given a cactus, but you don't have to sit on it. You're right. You're right. I don't have to sit on this. I don't have to stay in this place. Not me feeling horrible doesn't do anything. Doesn't make anything better. But I think that you do have to address these feelings to heal from them. I think you have to acknowledge that they're there and feel them and then let them go. Time doesn't heal all wounds. But I know that I am stronger today than I was laying on my couch, completely in shock and zoned out last year. And I think another part of my unhealing, I guess, or the fact that I'm not healed yet, or not over it, or just still sad, is because I don't have closure. Like, my dad's estate still hasn't been settled. We just are still on a holding. But let's go. Okay, so since this vlog is like my journal, I thought I would take my walk breaks to journal. I found this list of 25 journaling prompts for anyone dealing with grief. So, in case this might help you, maybe it'll help me, maybe it'll help my kids 20 years down the road, who knows. But I thought it would be a great opportunity to answer a few of these questions and, you know, let y'all get to know me a little bit better, or just get this out of my head. So let's see what we come up with. It says to write down a funny memory you have about the person you lost. That's easy. Anytime that I was with Dad and he had we were in public and there was a pretty girl around, he would always say, "Tara, did you see that? She was winking at me. Did you see that? I swear she was winking at me." And it was so funny because it was like, he was so confident and so silly, and he just knew that she was winking. I'm a terrible winker. Hey boys. Real appealing, right? If you could tell your loved one about your day, what would you tell them? And probably talk about the kids. Probably let them know their upcoming events, or my upcoming events, or just us as a family's upcoming events. You know, that sort of thing. I mean, I guess that's how our conversations were when he was alive, so I would just assume do the same. But I'm sure he is watching down on all of our daily events right now. Today I miss just him. Just being able to call him. Being able for him to join us. You know, just the daily stuff. Being able to listen to him and my husband talk about grass. And he'd probably want to see how great our new sod looks. And how terrible one half of our yard looks. We gotta get working on that. When I'm out in the yard or working the blower, I do feel sort of close to him. So my dad did landscaping, so I like making the outsides pretty too. Have you dreamed about the person you lost? Write down what happened in your dream. Briefly. Not very many times over the past year. I don't even remember what happened in the dream. I just do remember feeling close to him. And there was a point in time in my grieving where that's all I wanted to do is sleep so that I could be near him. Or attempt to be near him. Something. But, yeah. Can't really remember any of it. Alright, let's run. Who is your support system? Well, it's funny. It seems like his death took so many people out of my life for some reason. Probably because people don't want to be around the sad Tara, they want to be around the happy Tara. But then there's so many more people that came into my life. Now, my staples in my life, my husband, my kids, my best friend, my best friends. They're the ones that I can text and say, okay, I'm feeling sad. Distract me, and they'll call, tell me a joke, do something crazy like that. And then there's like a whole community of runDisney people that have come into my life that have just been there to send me a quick message or a quick reassurance or encouragement on social media. And that has been amazing too. So I'd say my support system is pretty solid. I think I just ate a bug. No, it didn't go in. I'd say that I'm so thankful for my support system. So thankful. Because without them, there's literally been times where I couldn't move because the grief was so heavy. But luckily for me, God put them in my life, and look at me go. What was your loved one's favorite holiday? How can you celebrate and remember them on this day? I'd say it was Thanksgiving. My dad liked to eat, y'all. Eat. And since I moved back to Georgia, I've been hosting Thanksgiving. And sometimes he would let me come cook at his house. Or other times we cooked and served at my house. So it was great to see his little white truck pull up and him come in and ask for seconds, sometimes thirds, and always asked where the caramel cake was at. It's a bummer if we didn't have caramel cake for him. It says, come up with a mantra you can say to yourself when a wave of grief comes over you. That's hard. Because in my head, I definitely try to distract myself. If it's silent, yeah, it's no good. That's when I feel it the most. The weight the most. However, I can just remind myself that this is just a phase, or this feeling is just temporary, or just the fact that being sad and upset is not going to make anything better. It's not going to bring anybody back. It's going to still hurt, but you will be okay. And you know, right after he died, everyone says, you know, the normal, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry for your loss. But that was never the thing that like helped me. Like, yeah, I'm sorry for my loss too. What made me feel so much better is that someone said, you will be okay. You will be okay. That's all it took. Just 4 little words to put hope back in my tank. You will be okay. List 3 activities that always make you feel good, even in the hard moments. First thing that comes to mind is taking a shower, or going for a run, or putting on some upbeat music, or phoning a friend, or I don't know. There's a lot of great things in this world, but sometimes when you're feeling that loss and that loss is heavy, nothing will make it feel any better. Running helps. On the days I don't run, total mess. Total mess. Oh, we're about to get real honest on this one. Name a few things you engage in that you know aren't good for your mental health, especially during this time. And write through how you can engage with them less. Well, if when I'm down and blue, a good cold, strong margarita doesn't sound good to me, that's my hang up. I think that, especially when I wasn't training, I just thought, oh, I can drink this pain away, but that doesn't help. I just feel kind of worse, actually. It doesn't make the pain go away. But while I'm training, since I started this 29-week program, I only drink on Saturdays after long runs, if at all. I try not to drink the day before a run. And if I do drink on a Saturday, it has to be after my long run, because I am committed to not getting to Walt Disney World and failing at this Dopey challenge. I want that more than I want a buzz, if that makes sense. And I want my health and my conscious state of mind a lot more than any margarita could give me. Margarita can give me a good time now. I'm not denying that. But it's really been the thing that I'm not really missing in my life. Whew. It is humid today. Blah. Oh, I should be telling you another thing. What songs make you think of the person you miss? Classic rock mainly, because that's what Dad listened to. He did start listening to a little bit of country towards the end, but it was like the fun poppy country, not necessarily like sad country. But I can remember riding in the black Mustang and him just jamming Metallica, especially Enter Sandman. So when I hear Metallica, I think of him. Describe your loved one in 10 words. Smart, but also, I don't want to say lazy. I'll say spoiled. It's no surprise my dad was the baby. He wasn't just a little bit spoiled rotten. He was definitely a mama's boy. He was strong, physically and mentally. He worked hard. If he committed to a task, he was going to do it the right way the first time, and not necessarily, you wouldn't have to go back over him. Rather, he was kind. Did I say that already? I don't know. He loved grass. He loved a Ford Mustang. He loved quality products. He drove a Toyota. He taught me all about sometimes you have to pay a little bit more to get a quality product that's going to last, opposed to spending your money on something cheap that you're going to have to replace. He was witty. I don't know if that's 10 or not, but he was a great man. He married once, and I don't know. Like, there's so many things that I could say that I just don't think would fully ever sum up the man he was to me. It says, write a letter to your loved one about anything you want. Well, I'd probably tell him all the things that he's missed out on. I mean, I told him for years and years and years. I mean, I can remember telling him this as a child, but just years and years and years of, Dad, please stop smoking. Dad, you could totally stop smoking. Dad, please stop smoking. Dad, 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 please stop. He could have took much better care of himself. He drank like a pitcher of sweet tea daily. So I knew at some point, and I'm skipping a run interval right now, by the way. I just knew at some point that I was going to end up having to take care of him, and he was going to get cancer. So when he did get sick, it wasn't really a shocker to me, because I watched him eat fast food. I watched him drink Diet Coke after Diet Coke after Diet Coke after Diet Coke. Now, he didn't drink alcohol, but like, that aspartame constantly in your system is not good. And that sweet tea constantly in your system is not good. And cigarettes. I think he said he started smoking at like 11 or 12. Like, his lungs must have been black. I just knew he was going to get a cancer diagnosis of lung cancer with all the cancer that's in our family. I just knew. So I just wish he would have taken better care of himself so he could see all the things that have happened since he died. Although he wouldn't be too happy with the news about Carhartt and their vaccine mandates for employees. I don't think he would have been too happy about that. But I mean, he missed the kids growing up, or he's missing the kids growing up. He missed the fact that I ran a marathon. He missed the fact that I lost 20 pounds. He missed the fact that I set a financial goal and met it, exceeded it rather. He missed quite a bit. So take care of yourself so you don't miss out on the good stuff. Let's run. This prompt is complicated because it says I need more of ... I need more time with him. It's the only thing I really need. I don't know what I need. I need more than just one family member that is blood related to me to reach out and check on me monthly. My friend family has been great, but my blood family, not at all. I need more good days. More good days than bad. When I don't feel the weight of the grief or the depression or whatever it is. I need less days like that. Or when my brain is so mentally fogged that I'm forgetful. I don't like days like that. I'm just learning how to cope. Okay. I need less of. I guess it's kind of bouncing off the other topic. I need less sadness. I need less moments alone. I need less opportunities to have a grief attack. I've noticed that distractions have been my saving grace. And usually if I'm at home, it's not silent. There's always music playing, or a YouTube video, or TV. Something's always on. it's a little bit of a distraction, or I'm either like laser focused in on work or reading or an article or a project. But if it's silent, that's when it happens. One thing that I hope to be for, well, it says, one thing I want to remember, which leads me into, I want to remember everything my dad taught me about quality and kindness and doing what's right the first time. And I hope to teach my kids that, you know, something's $10 and something even better is $15, and the higher quality product is $15, spend the extra $5 to get the higher quality product, because that $10 product is going to be, it's probably more than likely you're gonna have to replace it. And I want them to know to be kind to everyone. Be a little witty. Don't take life too seriously. Like he did. I mean, like he taught me. I'm technically done, but I'm not done with this list. So I kind of want to keep going. This experience has taught me that grief and sadness, it's not something that you just get through. It's something that you endure. Like, there's just a piece of me missing, and I've just got to learn how to live with that piece missing. Does that make sense? Like, your loved one's never going to come back, which is the hard reality, the harsh truth. But it doesn't mean that you have to be sad forever. It doesn't mean that you can't experience joy and the wonderful things that are in the rest of your life and the rest of your life that you have to look forward to. Everyone loses someone. Everyone loses a parent eventually. Everyone loses someone. But we can't go on living life in sadness. That's not the way that God would want you to live. That's not the way that your loved one would want you to live. And trust me, I'm speaking to the choir right now, because if I had a conversation with my dad today and I was able, or he was able to give me a report card, say, on the last year of what he's seen of me from heaven, I want him to be proud. I want him to, I don't know, I want him to be happy, or I know he would want me to be happy. I would want him to be happy to see how I am. I want him to see that even though his death has wrecked me, it hasn't wrecked my life. And I'm still getting up every day, and I'm still breathing, and I'm still thanking God, and I'm still taking care of myself. I think he would want that for me. I mean, when he lost both his parents, he didn't mope around. He was sad, sure. And anytime you lose someone, you're going to be sad. But I don't think that he would want me living in permanent sadness. Nope, not at all. I think I've skipped a couple intervals. Whoops. Oh, nope. There's a run one. Let's go. We're still getting deep here. Do you feel comfortable asking for help? Why or why not? Well, it depends on who it is, honestly. In the beginning, I thought that if I was very transparent with everyone, even on social media, if I was just transparent with everyone, it would almost serve as a warning or as a inspiration. I know that's weird, but I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm okay, you know, that sort of thing. I wanted to be very transparent, and maybe I could help someone else. Because grief, there's no roadmap. Everybody deals with it a lot differently. But I have found that people don't want to see the transparent Tara. They only want to see the happy Tara. And so I've had to fake it. Like, once I started realizing that people weren't digging the transparent Tara or labeling me as grief-stricken, depressed, or just a sad person, they go away. And they don't care. So I've put on a very fake happy Tara for the rest of the world. There are very few that I can reach out to when I'm having a moment. I happen to be in front of one of their homes right now. There's very few that have gotten to see the 100% fully transparent, I'm okay one minute, I'm not the next Tara. Oh, I just missed that run interval. It's okay, we're like done with our 45 minutes. We're just gonna keep going because we're only on 17 out of 25. So let's just go ahead and talk through this. Hopefully this will get us to the end of the street. Okay. Oh. And to kind of piggyback off of the who do I feel comfortable asking for help, I started this chat group that I've labeled Daddy's Girls, because it's girls that are my age-ish that have all lost their dads recently. And we all kind of support each other and rally around each other because, you know, like I just said, the grief has no roadmap. So when we're feeling a certain way that only these same other girls that have also lost their dad could relate to or understand, it's so great to have them there to vent to, or have them pray for you, or just encourage you to lift your head up. So I'm very thankful for my little Daddy's Girls group. And all of the people that have lost dads that have like reached out. Those people have kind of taught me how to get through this. Oh, what a day to ask this question. List 3 ways you can be compassionate with yourself today. Today is the death anniversary. So you are going to have a good day, Tara. You are out here running, Tara. You are going to enjoy your kids today and be present. You are going to live a good life for your dad. You are going to be sad and acknowledge that, but move past it. And you're going to stand up, and you're going to straighten your crown, and you're going to keep going, keep persevering. My favorite story of perseverance is the story about the palm tree. When any of my friends are going through a hard time, I always bring up the story about the palm tree. Because if you notice, when a storm comes through, if you were to go along the Gulf Coast after a hurricane, you will see tons of trees snapped over. Like a pine tree, it'll break. A palm tree, though, has a trunk that is so flexible that it can bend and sway with the wind. So when a storm comes, it doesn't bend and it doesn't break. Yeah, the root system might fall over, might. But when's the last time you've seen a broken palm tree? Like that just snapped like a pine tree? I don't recall that I've ever seen one. But when a storm comes, you have to be strong enough, like a palm tree, to bend and sway with the wind and the turbulence and the terribleness of the storm. But when the storm is over and done, you stand back up. You stand tall. And you have a poofy little top. No. That's one thing. Even though I've went through the storm and experienced turbulence, I will stand back up. And I will stand tall. And by golly, I will look dang good on the Gulf Coast again. Hint, hint, wink, wink. I'm definitely not a mountain girl. I'm a beach girl all the way. So I will park my little palm tree down at the beach one day. I will stand so tall, just looking at the sun. What have you felt most afraid of since you lost your loved one? Really, the feeling of abandonment. I know that, like, obviously I'm not abandoned, but like, when you lose a parent, it's crazy. You do feel kind of orphaned. I'm afraid of just the sadness. That's all. And afraid of, like, staying in the sadness. And I'm afraid of I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't really know. Maybe let the sadness control my life. That probably makes me really afraid. It says, write down a comforting memory you have about the person you lost. My dad was always there to help. Every move that I had, Dad helped. He helped every single, or almost every single move I've ever done. He would always show up with his truck and his trailer, ready to help lift a heavy couch or a massive dresser. Sorry about that, Dad. A washing machine, a dryer. He was always ready to help me move. So he was always there at my new starts too. If I had to like look back, he was always there when I started something new, a new job, a new place to live. He was there for both births of my kids. He walked me down the aisle, even though I was on the wrong side of the aisle. It's a funny story. But even though he had his own life, he was always there for almost every new start of mine. So those are comforting memories. How can you take care of your physical health today? Well, we're definitely working on some endorphins today. And it has made me feel better. It has made, gosh, I've been at this for over 63 minutes. Normally I'm suffering through 45. And even though I'm just mainly walking right now, I'm still getting some mileage on my feet, and I'm still sweating and burning calories, so that'll project me to have a good day today. Man, every day should start with a run. Mark my words. Okay, so this one says, if I could forgive myself for something, it would be being a terrible child. I gave my dad a lot of hell, honestly. I was always nagging on him about smoking. I was always nagging on him about his health. I was always nagging on him about something. I didn't really let my dad, and I don't want to say let, because that's like I gave him permission. It's not what it is at all. But like, I did kind of try to parent my dad. And if he was doing something that I knew was wrong, I was always the one that would call him out on it. Like, if he, let's just say smoking, for instance, I was just always on him about that. And sometimes he was the brunt of my venting about whatever. He just sometimes would get my anger when I was just venting. And he didn't deserve that. But with your parents, you can be fully transparent. You can let it out. They are your safe space. You can say your thoughts to them and know that they're not going to completely disown you. Well, he wouldn't. I don't know. So I would just want him to know that even through all of the nagging that I did for him and all of the rage that he saw inside me, like that I loved him. I really did. Who else do you know who is grieving? How can you support each other? Well, that goes back to my Daddy's Girls group. They are all experiencing the loss of their dad as well. And I think we do a pretty decent job of checking in on each other and making sure that we're all doing okay. What are some ways you've expressed grief in the past, and were they helpful? I've screamed to the top of my lungs in my car. That's been helpful. I've cried. I have used a leaf blower. I have started to learn what triggers my sadness. It's usually a first generation white Toyota Tundra, or it's a white trailer, or it's a walker mower, or it's landscape equipment, or it's the word steel. There's lots of triggers, but we're learning how to welcome them. And even welcoming the smell of cigarette smoke. Oh, the most disgusting smell to me. Sometimes when I smell it now, I'm like, oh hey Dad. Oh hey. Alright, last one. Write about a time you had difficulty getting along with the person you lost. Well, I just expressed that in my nagging. Or when Dad wouldn't do something that I thought that he should do. Like quitting smoking. Just those sort of things. But anyway, let's get home and okay, so I feel like that was so very therapeutic. I was active for a total of 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 59 seconds for a total distance of 5 miles with an average pace of 14 minutes, 11 seconds. Average heart rate of 151 beats per minute. The weather was 73 degrees with 94% humidity. I felt like doing those walk intervals and doing that journaling was such a great distraction for getting through the 5 miles. Garmin says that I did 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 46 seconds, 5.05 miles, average pace of 14 minutes, 1 second. And I was using the 745, the Forerunner 745. Said my average speed was 4.3 miles per hour. My best pace was 8 minutes, 52 seconds. I walked for 41 minutes and only ran for 28. Max heart rate was 174. 84 degrees. So, pretty good. But, let me read you one more thing in closing. It just says, grief never ends, but it changes. It's a passage, not a place to stay. Grief is not a sign of weakness, nor a lack of faith. It is the price of love. And ultimately, that's what it is. It is giving of love your whole life to someone and then no longer being able to do that. So, we're not going to stay in sadness. We're not going to stay in grief. A friend texted me yesterday and she said, how are you? And I was like, I'm not okay. Like, I'm broken. I just want to get back to normal. And she said, you are normal, but you're not the regular normal. You are the kind of normal that overcomes and can get through anything. And no one has ever really put it to me like that before, because I am an overcomer. I've overcame so many things in my life. So I am an overcomer. And there's no denying that, rather. There's no denying that at all. I also received a text from Turk while I was running. She said, thinking of you today, he'd be so proud of you and all that you've accomplished, even on the middle of battling grief. That came during this run, and I briefly looked down at it and didn't read the whole thing. I just read the thinking of you, he'd be so proud of you part. So thankful. So thankful. If you are struggling with grief, I hope that my journey or my story can be something relatable, something real, something that you can see that you can continue living after loss. I hope you see that. So we'll see you for a very happy. By the way, I'm wearing Dad's shirt because he loved Duck Dynasty or the Duck Commander, whatever that show was called. But we'll see you for a very happy day 2 on Thursday for 45 minutes. So as you know, even in grief, my story continues.